Hello again guys, Philip here, and if you guys are wondering, am I doing a whole, it's pretty cool, it's like a jump rope, ring around the rosy. Anyway, so, I'm bringing in modded mode because I looked up on the TF2 blog for some of these balance changes, and I did actually see a guy who made like a video of that, explaining like some the scout nerfs and the and some of the pyro things. So basically, and before we get onto this list, they do have a thing saying this is not a complete change list of changes. Some items and classes are still being worked on and not ready for review. Whoops. We're going a little deeper on some classes this time, especially Scout, and not as deep as others. Demo Man. This is a work in progress. Items may change prior to release. So, first off, we got the panic attack. My opinion, I've probably really used it, but they do say it's like one of the least used weapons. I can agree with them to that because I've probably seen a whole lot of people use that. I think I've seen like one person use it. But the thing is that even if it was like fully loaded, it's still a pain in the butt to deal with, because that's what it is a little bit. But overall, I have like no problem with it. So the changes with this, I don't really care about as much. So panic attack. I mean, if you guys have a problem with that, you can deal with that. Now here comes the spy. Now 3, I think 2 of them I agree with a little bit, or maybe 3 I don't agree with. Who knows? I forget. But here's what the ambassador does. Players that are headshot from across the map are expected to see a sniper in their death cam. Nope, it's a spy. So basically the goal was to reduce the effective combat range from something more reasonable and accepted with the spy. So basically the change that I really like is, well, actually, I dislike, if I'm reading this correctly. First shots are no longer perfectly accurate. Bullet spread is instead reduced by 50%. That part I like. I think the first shot one is a bunch of bullcrap. This makes headshots less reliable at long range, while still very viable at close range and medium range. But overall, I mean, you take a look at the spy, for crying out loud. He has a gun, for crying out loud. It's like you expect him to use something long range. Long range or something. A close range, medium range. Just to deal with an engineer or something, for crying out loud. So it's basically like, just make the ambassador less inaccurate, for crying out loud, when fired. It's like, ugh. I mean, the Enforcer's good, and the Diamondback's good. I have not tried out the other weapons because I've only had those. Next item, Dead Ringer. The goal is this. Rather than make it less interesting, let's make it more predictable to fight against by removing methods by which spies can reduce its cooldown. This should create more of a rhythm to fighting against a spy using this, and introduce a little more risk to the player using it. Changes: ammo kits and dispensers are no longer refill the spy's cloak meter. So in other words, with the Dead Ringer, I think we're gonna put up my glasses. Excuse me. So overall, for the Dead Ringer, I've used that about a couple times, okay? And here's what I find for that. I mean, the dead ringer is cancer. Is somewhat cancer sometimes. Whenever the spy goes like far out range and waits for the thing to regen and takes the ammo kits. Which is part I actually really like though. But I think possibly nobody would probably use it anymore, I would say. I mean, the thing is good, to be honest. It is good, but and I heard Jesus say this too. My friend Jesus. Jesus even said that he used that with the respawn time with kind of loud because he doesn't even want to wait like a whole bunch of seconds. And the highest respawn time that I had was 22 seconds. I come out and I'm like instantly killed or something. And it was on 2 foot. The time, 22 seconds. I'm like, I have to get to a freaking century. This is bullcrap. So overall, the dead ringer is going to be changed a lot more. I mean, if you die, you better hope you can get out. But another change I would really like them to do is the spicicle and the sharp dresser for crying out loud. Sharp dresser is a hidden blade for crying out loud. That's if you have like a spicicle melted, at least if it's melted, don't change it to the freaking zapper. At least have the sharp dresser for crying out loud. Bullcrap. Now, next up is the eternal reward. Here's the thing. Before we go on, I do agree with him. It is the least used spy knife. But not for me unless it's turbine. Because really, the silent kill is good and all that. But there is one thing I like. It says the changes they did was removed cannot disguise penalty. So that's a lot more better. So basically, you can disguise and manage to change if necessary or something. Added non-kill disguises require and consume a full cloak meter. So pretty much it's worthless now. Backstab based disguises are still free. Increase cloak drain by 50%. So right there, that's worthless right there. I mean, what? Like, I know you're trying to balance the spy for crying out loud, but really, you're starting to make this thing look like more of a piece of crap. Like, you're taking a look at it and you're like, worthless. So overall with the spy thing, they really changed. They did do some good things and some bad things. So overall, it's a worthless piece of crap. Scout, Sandman. Now, Sandman I somewhat hate, but they did say that they do have a change for this. Long-range ball impacts no longer remove the victim's ability to fire their weapon, but the victim is still slowed. So that part I would like, cause like I've had like a couple instances where it's like I got hit by the Sandman, all of a sudden the scout just like just shotguns me and kills me. Max ball range and now do 50% increased damage from the base of 15. So that's a lot more bad, I think. I'm not really sure though. For the Salmon, I don't think I've ever gotten like any damage it kills with that as much. Flight time required to trigger the max effect has been reduced by 20%. So I think what it's saying here is that I'm guessing a little bit shorter. It's gonna be a little bit shorter to have that max effect. The ball regeneration time is reduced from 10 to 10 seconds. Yeah, okay. Don't really care about that. I mean, really, if you're just a scout of baseball and you just keep and you hold down mouse 1 for crying out loud, it's basically like, yeah, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. This is the equivalent backup of waiting for my ball to return. Block Atomic Punch. If you guys don't know what this weapon does, this is a canned soda which gives you a certain amount of time of super fast speed, and overall, will give you a miss to the scout or whatnot. Which clearly says that. It doesn't require enough skill or carry much of a downside. True. Of course, when you're at 2-4 and the scout takes the route out where your dispense is, which is on the other entrance side of the intel, and then you have to shotgun them. So yeah. Changes: apply a slow effect to the player after phasing wears off, based on the amount of damage they absorb. There I can see a little bit of a good side on that. A little bit. Because on a video that I seen that was Scout vs. Tracer, the amount of sugar that's in the thing is like a couple of pounds, I think. I forgot what was the number. So I really agree with them with the slow effect. But based on the damage they absorb, for crying out loud, like, really? It says miss every time, even with a sentry, for crying out loud. You deal with a set. I'm bringing up 2-4 for an example. It's like you drink the thing. You go out. You take like 100, possibly like 100 damage from a sentry. A pyro or somebody's coming up behind you. I'll probably say like Soldier or Devilman. And all of a sudden you slow down. You're as slow as can be. Probably like heavy or something. I'm not sure. And all of a sudden, Soldier or Devilman fires the thing, blows you up instantly. From minus 25% at a low damage to minus 65% at plus 2 damage. Oh, 200 plus damage. Oh, dude, this thing lasts 5 seconds. Oh, jeez. You better hope you have like enough time to get past that sentry. I'm not really sure like how fast that thing goes with the sentry. I don't know, if I get like another 2-4 thing, and if I have like an engineer sentry over there, I'll probably like ask that player like, hey, can I do something quick? Can I at least time the amount it takes from getting from where I am, like underneath the sentry, to that room to the intel? Because 5 seconds, I think that's gonna be bad for the scout, for crying out loud. Pretty Boy's Pocket Piss, I really have nothing much to talk about here. It's mostly focusing on the thing. I forgot what's the clip size. Wasn't it 10? Because they're planning on reducing it down to like 9. Yeah, 9 shots. Minus 25% clip size. So I'm just gonna take a look at that. Soda Papa, I'm gonna take a look at that. I'm gonna see how to craft that. These things I'm gonna soon get, hopefully. Hopefully. Let's see. Here we go. Pretty Boys pocket pistol. Oh shoot, I can see the clip size. Ammo loaded. Oh, it's 12. Went down to 9. Overall, it really depends on which chamber where. I don't know, the thing looks like you could fit probably like 9 or something. But the ammo is like really like no big deal for me. Oh, that's how I can get it? Okay. Never mind for that. Critic Cola. I watched like the video with the Scouts Nerf and whatnot, and he said like this was, said that thing was a little bit bad or something. I'm not sure what he said, but he said, but now with this, they're now changing it to more, the goal was to add more decision / thought on when / where to activate and how to manage the risk / reward of the effect. So the proposed changes are each attack while active adds marked for death debuff for 5 seconds. So overall pretty much you're dead. We marked for death when effect expires. Removed 25% move speed bonus, and removed 10% damage taken penalty. So pretty much you should probably keep that 10% damage taken penalty because heck, that's freaking bad. Heck, you got crits and a can for crying out loud. Chances are you're dead. Atomize, so this is the baseball bat. The triple trap has a passionate effect, is just too strong. Yada yada. The goal required the scouts to deploy the bat had to take advantage of the extra jump, which is also is a signal to other players that they can perform an extra jump and reduce the bat's negatives to Changes, triple jump is now only possible when the bat is deployed. So overall, congratulations, you just made an M1 an M1 scout out hitting you with this thing. Remove self-inflict damage. So pretty much you're gonna live when triple jumping and you fall. Removed attack speed penalty. Melee attacks done while airborne. Airborne mini crits. So congratulations to be a soldier. Added 50% deploy time penalty to prevent quicker switch bypass. Reduced damage penalty versus players to 15 from 20. So that's pretty bad. Flying Guillotine, I've only had a little bit of fun with this, but the thing that I didn't really realize is that this thing does mini crits at long range and full crits when the target is slow to stun in any way. So basically, just equip the Sandman and you're good to go. So the goal is like to remove the feeling of randomness and reward accuracy. So we removed crit versus stunned players. Removed mini crits at long range. At long range hits reduces recharge. So overall, I really have no problem with this. As long as the player bleeds, I'm happy. That's the only thing I feel like that. The base jumper. Players have often complained that the base jumper is frustrating to fight against because the target is simply too hard to hit. Really? It's a parachute. They're slow. If you really find that really hard, then you obviously are bad. This is mostly due to the combination of being able to deploy / retract at will and the amount of steering control they have, which makes them too unpredictable. It's a parachute. It makes you slow, but But still, I've seen like some people wanting to get on top of the stupid thingamahoo and they're parachuting down using the what was that one? Air attack or something. Changes reduce the amount of air control while being deployed by 50%. Remove the ability to redeploy the parachute once retract until the player lands on the ground again. So overall, these people complained about this. Don't even know why. I mean, I don't even have any experience with that whatsoever, I don't think. Mantras is the second least used item in the game. The aerial stomp minigame is difficult, and the gun boots are superior in most scenarios. Unless you equip the rocket jumper, and you're good to go. For crying out loud, it's not that hard. The proposed changes, plus 75% push force reduction now includes air blast, added a plus 200% air control when blast jumping. So that's pretty something. Darwin's Danger Shield. Snipers using this item had the advantage against snipers who wouldn't. As we saw, players felt like they were required to equip this item in order to be competitive. The goal: remove the increased survivability against enemy snipers, which invalidates the existing design. New design: counter-ranged burn attacks, example flares, and strengthen melee fights versus Pyros. So it says afterburn immunity and plus 50% fire resistance. I spelled his name wrong. That's Danger Shield. Yeah, that's how you spell it. Yep. Dawn's Danger Shield. Crocodile skin. So what is it had? Plus 5. Plus 15% damage resistance on wearer. And minus 20% explosive damage vulnerability on wearer. So really, I have no idea what the pyro thing. I mean, like, why do you do that? The pyros are already cancerous can be. Razorback. Goal: reduce the effectiveness of pocketed snipers and stalemates/standoffs. This primarily happens in organized competitive play. Changes: a minus 100 overheal penalty. So basically what that meaning is that if you're being healed by a medic, you cannot be overhealed. So, okay. Shield regenerates after 30 seconds. Now that I like. That is like the only thing I like with the Razorback. Because with the Razorback, you have to go to like your locker for crying out loud. And that's like either a half single way. Or in other words, it's like far back hack or something. It's like, really? Shock treatment and die another way. And that's where I think there's something with like the shocking thing. Like, I know the metal thing, but like, really, you got a left hand. At least have the ability to shoot. At least have the ability to shoot at something. I don't even think I have that achievement. I have to take a look. Anyway, medic. The Vital Saw, I really had no problem with this at all. But there was some things on here that I kind of thought, like, really, this made no sense. And I actually want to see... goal, change the weapon... Added organs collecting concept. You know, you hit someone with a saw and out pops a vital organ, which you then take and hold. Each hit with the vital saw harvests the victim's organs, shown on the HUD. Added on death, preserve 15% overcharge per organ harvest. So if you so basically, overall, this thing makes it a lot more better for Uber charges to go a lot more faster, depending how many organs you've harvested. So if you have like, so if you had like quite a lot of organs, you basically have like half the Uber charge or something. So overall, this thing makes it a lot more faster for an Uber charge for crying out loud. Which is like, this is where a pyro comes in. You see this crossbow? See, the overcharge gain rate reduced in the same way that the medic gun's healing. So the default medic gun with the regular bulletproof uber. So basically what they're doing is like they're doing it, the build for the rate does the same rate as the overcharge build rate, based on the last time the target was in combat. Reduced by a third when 1 to 10 seconds outside of combat, and scales up to normal over 10. So that part I really don't understand, but I'll probably take a look if that change ever is made. Now the heavy, the changes they did, the proposed changes for all miniguns. The 1 second damage and accuracy penalty now applies to the first second of spun up time, whether or not the heavy is firing. Previously, the 1 second damage penalty would only be removed after 1 second of firing. Accuracy and damage penalties now reset when the heavy spins down, rather than the heavy stops firing. This means if you stay spun up beyond 1 second, the fire in bursts, damage, and accuracy will remain at 100%. Don't really have no idea. Probably figure that out later. Okay, now here's something I hate. Gloves of running urgency. So basically, if you guys know this, and I do know this too, this thing actually provides, what this thing does is, it gives, I think this is the one that gives you death thing, I think. Damage penalty, you're marked for death while yeah, that's the one. So basically, this thing gives you more fire speed, but the thing that I hate is the marked for death. So that's kind of like, really? It's mini crits all the way. But here is the change they propose. And this I hate. Added. Max health is drained when item is active. Minus 10 per second. Same thing with the infection notice. Right here. Max health is drained when item is active. And regenerated when item is holstered. This actually makes these things actually unusable to do, for crying out loud. Like, not only that, and I've seen like some heavies wanting to do like melee only or something. I mean, like, really. But they removed the mark for death, which I'm happy with, but still, minus 10 per second and minus 5 per second. That's just, like, really, come on. That makes these things, like, unusable, for crying out loud, if you're gonna take, like, damage while these things are active, for crying out loud. Fist of Steel, there's really nothing I have for that. But the final one is the Rescue Ranger. Now, I like the Rescue Ranger. It's basically a great way to teleport sentries from long distance, especially on payload races, because that's really useful if you want to save the amount of time and whatnot. But the 100 metal, I don't really mind that. But here's another thing. But here's the proposed change they have. Ranged repairs now consume metal at 4-to-1 health to metal ratio. Example, repairing 60 damage costs 15 metal. So not only that they're gonna like have the thing where it's like, oh, let's just keep repairing it. Let's keep having these things repaired for like a good time, but now it's gonna cost like 60 damage for it. It's basically like you could just use a wrench, have a dispenser close by you, and just keep on the heals. This thing's not a piece of crap. Like, the only thing you would use this for teleporting stuff. That's about it. Just, I mean, really. You're gonna have metal, depending on the damage. That's just bad. So, I don't know. If you guys want to take a look at this whole list, just think of what you guys have. Go ahead, just Google search TF2, go to the website, click on the blog saying, and this will be the first thing they'll change. Overall, they should like really change some of the problems I've had. Like Pyros just camping, just Pyros that are just camping sentries and whatnot because of the home wrecker, for crying out loud. Like, that thing should not have been added in the first place. The only thing you would use that for is the obvious. And I'll tell you the obvious. Teleport horns when there's that, for crying out loud. That's a whole lot better. Nope. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. Take care. That was some of those are like piece of crap. But let me know what you guys think, okay? So see you guys later. Take care. Peace out.